My name is Daniel McVeigh, and I'm a Texas New alumnus from Texas Wesleyan University. Ever since I graduated, I've volunteered for the fraternity, and I've done everything from chapter counselor, various positions on the ABC. I've served as district governor, and I've been on the national board since 2011 and have been the grand treasurer since 2017. Professionally, I'm a senior vice president at Merrill Lynch, where I manage investments and do financial planning for families and institutions. I've facilitated RUC for 13 out of the last 15 years, and I believe it has the opportunity to be one of the most impactful programs we offer as an organization. The lessons you learn from RUC and the Leadership Challenge transcend your fraternal experience. Each of these leadership practices will help you be a better leader in your field of work and in your career after you graduate. The first leadership practice is model the way. To start, you need to define who you are by the values that you hold. What's important to you? How do you want to be seen? How do you want to lead? Examples of this are things like honesty, integrity, family, dedicated, loyal, trustworthy, competent, fair, and good work ethic. There's a whole host of other ways to describe someone's leadership style and their values. And if you have Brother Posner's book, there's a list of them in there, and there's an exercise where you can sort through to figure out what your values are and what's important to you. Mentioning his book, in his book, The Leadership Challenge, Brother Posner says, to become a credible leader, you first have to comprehend the deeply held beliefs that drive you. You have to authentically communicate your beliefs in ways that uniquely represent who you are. So, defining who you are and how you want to lead is the first step of modeling the way. Once this is done, it's time to act. And when you do, you need to set the example. Question: did any of your parents say, "Do as I say, not as I do"? How credible were they when they said that? Probably not much. Here are two people who you look up to, admire, and have taken care of you, and all of a sudden are telling you not to do something, yet they're doing it. Not a good example. I've got three boys, and when they were young, probably preteens, they went out to play golf with my cousin Mike. Now, granted, Mike is a big, lovable, affable guy. He's engaging, he's funny. Everybody loves Mike. They were on the fifth hole, I believe it was, and Mike proceeded to take out a packet of cigarettes, lit one up, took a big old drag, and then proceeded to just crush a drive down the middle of the fairway. Now, 300 yards or so. He's a big, big dude. As soon as he did that, he looked at the boys and said, "Boys, don't smoke. It's not good for you. It'll kill you." Granted, he was telling them the right thing, but he wasn't exactly modeling the way as to how you should live your life. Another example is I was asked to be on the board of a local nonprofit. And as part of that, there's an interview process where we got to know each other and make sure it would be a good fit. As I walked up, I noticed this man in a suit on the front lawn of the organization, walking around picking up trash and just making sure that everything looked good. Had no idea who it was, but I thought it was odd that there was a man in a suit out there doing that instead of the maintenance guy or the lawn guy. Anyway, walked in, got ready for my interview, and when I was shown into the office, lo and behold, the person who I was interviewing with was the gentleman who was out there picking up trash on the front lawn. He was the executive director. That made a huge impression on me in the fact that if the executive director of an organization can be out there picking up trash and doing something which some people would consider some of the most basic things that need to happen, then his example to other employees is that if I'm doing it, everybody should be able to do that to make this organization look good on the outside and the aesthetics. Another example is, remember when you were a freshman and you joined the chapter and you looked up to the juniors and seniors, most likely. While many of them may not have officially been a leader in the chapter, you probably looked at them as such. If they set the tone for academics of being a priority, acting responsibly, and upholding our cardinal values, then you probably took note and it helped set the tone for your freshman year. The point of this example is, even if you're not an elected leader, there's someone younger than you always looking up, whether they're in the chapter or once you're off in your career, if you have new hires coming in, they look at you as a leader and they're always watching what you do. Another good example of modeling the way is from the 2010 ESPY Awards when they presented the Arthur Ashe Award to the family of Ed Thomas. Watch the clip and notice how the family of Ed Thomas modeled the way and how the other family was treated after the incident. It was crucial. If you take one thing away from modeling the way, it would be to remember that others are always watching you, whether you're currently in a leadership position or not. If you aspire to lead your chapter or a team of professionals in your career, others are taking notice and are already forming their opinion on you as to whether or not they would want to follow you or not.